Welcome to the Archotechs, a RimWorld fluid ideology series about pursuing the Archonexus. Episode 32, Crash Into Me. To briefly recap, last episode, Bunny went to a worshipful village and managed to clear it out herself. Unfortunately for me, the quest bugged out a little bit, but I was able to fix it with dev mode. Then, later on in the episode, we had a rather large raid come in, and we triggered our lovely little fire trap, and it worked perfectly. We basically didn't have to lift a finger. And we are now waiting for all of these people to die. I think I'm going to have Bunny kill a few to maximize the amount of killed someone that she gets, but it looks like I need to wait about 7 hours for some of those moodlets to expire. About 10 Tacos in the YouTube comments noticed that Henrietta here has a neuro calculator, so I'm going to try to send Trustin to go grab that. This episode, my plan is to expand some of the farming that I've already set up, and then also possibly have Bunny here go run a trade caravan down to Roslesfram to see what there is to buy, because they have restocked since the last visit. And then also to set my main 3 architects up with as much bionics as possible, trying to invest very heavily in them. So with that in mind, Bonnie already has an architect eye. Oh, and she's fleeing from Mikhail, who needs to be beaten up a little bit. Normally I would have prisoners do that, but he's already broken the door, so I'll just have him do it. Looks like no luck's in the area as well. Oh, down he goes. Great. I think for Senso, I am no longer going to recruit her or convert her. I don't care. I believe that we have enough farmers now that we don't really need any more. So here is the medical emergency. Trustin has herbal meds on him. Let's do the operation for the neurocalculator right now. I'm going to have him drop the herbal meds on the ground so I don't have to run so far. Another thing I'd like to harvest out of Henrietta before she dies is a lung. Slave 1 here has lost a lung, so I can pull a lung out of Henrietta and get that transplanted. So in terms of bionics, Bunny has an architect eye, so I don't really need an eye for her, but Trustin and Sven both need eyes, and then Trustin needs arms as well, 2 arms. So I will set that up. One of the things about this queue, however, is that I have a very limited amount of gold and plasteel, so this will probably deplete what reserves I have, but that's fine. They're gonna go to a good cause. Bunny is waiting for a bit of medical tending. I'm a little worried about Sven having a mental break. So I'm going to set Sven up to not do so much work, but to instead eat a lavish meal. The reason I'm worried is there's a psychic droner going on right now, and that is kind of bad news for the rest of us. So let's harvest a lung out of Henrietta. And then, if there's time, we'll harvest other things as well. A little bit of casual organ murdering. It is, of course, possible to organ murder these guys, but it takes time, it takes medicine, there's an opportunity cost involved, because Trustin makes tons of money crafting, as does No Luck, so all the time using Trustin to do surgery means that he is not crafting corsets or armor or something like that, so the opportunity cost is not 0. All right, there is the infection at 96%. We're not going to get another organ out of her, so let's walk away. This here is going to become for slaves, and slave 1 is going to go under the knife for an installed lung. The reason I'm doing the lung installation is actually relatively straightforward. It is that Not having that lung means that slave 1 is just less productive than he otherwise would be. So it's not me trying to be kind, it's me trying to get more work out of them. It also increases the value of the slave. Oh, and we have a bit of a prison break. So I'm going to try to quell all the prison breaks that we have with just my slaves so that my colonists don't get injured. It's probably the best way to do it. And this prison break should be broken up pretty quickly, I suspect. Just because most of the prison breakers are wounded. So it makes it very easy to put them down. All right, Henrietta died due to infection. For a second, I thought that was, one of the prison breakers, but it isn't. And we're done. Let's take a look at permanent injuries, making sure there are none, or at least none that need immediate medical attention. And once again, no luck, I find you fleeing from combat. I know that you're set to do that, but I should have noticed in time. All right, slave 1 is going to rest until healed. There are some bruises. Yep, there's some bruises here that I want to probably tend to first. So Trusted, I'm going to have you do this. Get a little of the bruises patching, and now for the operation. And probably would be a good idea for me to clean whatever blood, so it is a very sterile environment for the surgery. And there we go. We've got that lung installed. It's going to be a lot of cleanup up here, having to deal with the little rebellion here. Oh, these two slaves probably don't... Actually, it wouldn't hurt for them to rest up in there. I guess that's fine. We have a Garland pod. We are human primacy, so we don't really believe in worshipping plants or anything like that, so we won't be installing that. And then another thing to keep in mind is we accepted a quest for 22 polar bears, and they're going to be coming in about 14 hours or so, sometime early tomorrow, it seems. So we got to be ready for that. Right now what I'm doing is I'm just having my hunters clear out the emu and ostriches so that the emu and ostriches don't eat any of my sown seeds. This is something I'm going to have to periodically check on, because now that we have multiple farms outside of our walls, we're not going to want all of that farm sowing to be consumed by iguanas, emus, and ostriches. All right, a very quick bleed check, and it looks like we're good. And of course, my slaves are helping to patch them up. I broke these little grave sites down so that we can throw their bodies into this larger area and burn them up. We have Owens and Sparkles left. Cool. I don't really care. Like I said, I don't really care to organ murder them. Another thing that we have is we have the ability to start making corsets out of double strand. The reason being is we have a lot of thrombophore to keep ourselves clothed, so the double strand will be earmarked for wealth and not just protection. Something else I ought to do is to flip-flop which of the mazes are active, because there's not a lot of flammables here now, so I'm going to open up the left maze instead. And next slave I see wandering around this area, I'll have them do that work. Or, I guess in this case, maybe no luck. That's bad luck, no luck. Unfortunately, it means that we have to traverse the maze, but it's fine. Okay, so the left maze is open, the right maze is closed. And I actually want to make the bionic eyes first. Although I guess we're going to be done with the arms before then. The reason being is I'll get the neural calculator and I in Sven. We have a little bit of starvation. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, 3 hours until the bears come. It's not very much time. So, schedule everybody inside, and then let's draft all of our shooters to be ready to respond to the bear attack. I'm not really sure what edge of the map they're entering on, but I know that all these slaves should be inside so they don't get chewed up. All right, to the south. $22 bears, and a little reminder, the reward for this is honor, a harmonizer, and a shirt. And I plan on giving the harmonizer to Bunny, which reminds me, Bunny should finish off Owens and Sparkles for her bloodlust. One of the most powerful tools against large swarms is Vertical Pulse, because it makes them vomit and confuse and not move towards us. So obviously I used Vertical Pulse with Sven, casted it twice. And short of one bear getting a little bit too close, which I should have focused on, it looks like it has worked wonders. Let's keep backing up. Alright, no luck, got scratched a little bit, but nothing too serious. Yeah, not serious at all. And now it's just kiting and fighting. Another thing I could do is I could hit them with stuns with Bunny. So let me do that next while everybody stands their ground. And we're just about through. I think we're basically done enough that I'm going to unsuspend the zoning restrictions. Bunny, let's have you go kill Owens and Sparkles now. And that way you get your mood up to ×5, which I think is, what, 37, I believe? Because I plan on giving her the harmonizer. So if she has the harmonizer, keeping her happy is going to be important, because the way this psychic harmonizer works is it makes your mood infectious. Basically, people around you within, I think, 25 tiles or so gain some of your mood. So if you're in a bad mood, it will make them more upset. If you're in a good mood, it will make them more happy. A very powerful tool when used well, but it can definitely backfire on you if you're not careful. And when these bears are all finished off, the pods have arrived, and there it is, the harmonizer. We also have an Archotechs shirt that I could use either for Sven or Bunny, but it doesn't really offer a lot of protection, and I don't find myself to be doing too much side casting, so I'm not really urgently wanting to use that. So next person to go to sleep will get the surgeries. So Trustin can get 2 bionic arms and a bionic eye. Sven can get a neurocalculator and a bionic eye. And then Bunny can get the harmonizer. And that quest is now done. This corpse stockpile looks just about ready. Now, unfortunately for me, it seems like only maybe 2 or 3 of the bears were butcherable, but that stands to reason given my given the difficulty. Scaria rotting is a very high % chance. So one thing I wanted to do, which I will queue up now, is I wanted to get Sven researching the chocolate trees. so that I can have a gluttonous research, or gluttonous a recreation type, not research type. Gluttonous is covered by either chocolate or by insect jellies. So, let's do that. A bionic eye. Let's say bionic eye actually in your left eye, because your right eye is scarified. And that would require a new scarification ritual if I did it like that. And the neurocalculator. And Mr. Trustin is going to do these surgeries. And we're just going to use your bed, because it's a masterwork bed, and this is not a hospital bed. And this is pretty sterile enough that I don't think it's much of a risk. Okay, first surgery went well. And that would be the eye, and now the neurocalculator. Done. I might as well, because Bunny is asleep, do the harmonizer. Yes, that knocks 2/5 of my forces out, so could be a little risky, but I think I'll do that anyway, just to reduce downtime. Another thing that is worth noting is because I have all of my slaves doing doctoring here, or many of my slaves, it's really important that I control exactly who does the surgeries, because if I allow one of these slaves that I've got to do the surgery, it could backfire tremendously, because the slaves are terrible doctors, but technically they would be allowed to perform the surgeries, so you got to be really careful about that. There is no setting for like minimum surgery requirement or anything like that, so we got to be cautious. So Sven is working to research right now autocannon turrets, but I want to pivot over to chocolate. And that way, once we finish off the Devilstrand farm sowing, we can start up with chocolate trees. Because that will be, like I said, another recreation type. Zaleb, let's have you burn some of these bodies. And then another thing I'm going to want to do is to do the same thing over here. So how many polar bears are there? There is 19. So a 4x5 should just be fine. Just hold them all. Allow rotten corpses of animals. And we'll stockpile all the bears there. Oh, one thing I didn't do is strip off nice clothing from here. Like the recon stuff. So there seems to be another recon helmet. And this stuff will smelt down for some plasteel. So that's something I ought to remember to do in the future. Is anytime there's corpses with valuable stuff. Obviously the flak can be smelted down as well, but it only yields a little bit of cloth, so it's not nearly as important as the recon armor. And technically speaking, Bunny could wear the recon armor without a problem, because she is bloodlust, and bloodlusts don't mind wearing tainted gear. But I do just plan on smelting that down, rather than wearing a dead man's gear. That's not really royal fitting. And these bears are getting piled up. And then Zaleb will grab the Molotovs again. I don't like leaving my charge rifle on the ground there, but should be fine for a brief drop. And there we go. We have cleaned up all the bodies. So we'll delete these zones. Make sure to keep killing off the wildlife that would eat our seeds. I'm also going to have my slaves clean up really everything that is gross around the map tile, because they're going to be idle pretty soon. There's not a lot of work for them to do other than sowing the farm fields, and sowing the farm fields is a higher priority anyway. So just to have a nice and tidy map tile. Another thing I might be able to do is to turn cleaning off for all of my colonists so that they never are asked to do any of this cleaning. And that way we're not going to be tying them up for tasks that I don't want them to do. All right, so that's the last bionic guy that I need. Probably the rest of our resources are going to go to making the advanced components, and I don't suspect that I'm going to have a lot of plasteel for that. So as soon as the research for chocolate is done, I'll be getting back on the ground pen scanning to hopefully find some plasteel. We keep getting visitors, but none of the visitors are the royal tribute collectors, which is disappointing because I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep this prison population until I decide that it's basically more effort than it's worth and it's slowing down our progress. What I could do is I could keep some of them. Maybe perhaps the ones that I keep, I would remove their legs so they wouldn't keep trying to escape or anything like that. But just feeding them is quite a big burden as well. That's another factor to consider. No, I'm trying to deal with that feeding them factor by growing a lot of potatoes and corn and feeding them that. Because if I get a large potato and corn yield, what I could do to make it a little bit easier to feed them is to put like a nutrient paste dispenser here. And because vegetables don't rot very quickly, I can just have hoppers out in the open and feed them that way. So that's something that I'm planning if I do end up keeping them a while, is to just build yet another nutrient paste so that we can not make this north-south run constantly when we're trying to deliver food, because that obviously does slow us down. All right, we do have some people sleeping, so we've got Trustin's big surgeries to do. I think what I want to do is, because of the quantity of surgeries that he's going to need, I'm going to do the surgeries in the hospital, just so that we don't screw this up. And it looks like Trustin is going to need new scarifications because his scar is on his left arm and his left arm's about to get replaced. So there's 1 of 3. Yep. Glad I looked over here. Yeah, one of the problems of having a really small room for a deep drill is once it fills up with steel, it exposes your deep drill to be destroyed, potentially, because the door gets propped open. So these guys are visitors that will buy stuff. So I'm actually going to trade with them real quick, and the reason is they'll buy some of the crummy weapons that I don't need to keep. But they don't have a lot of money, so in order to afford this... Oh, they have an Archotechs helmet? Sure, sure. Yeah, this will help balance the budget. Okay, close enough. 2 silver off, that's not that much of a problem. And now we're up in Archotechs helmet. Alright, Sven, you were supposed to do the last surgery before going to sleep. And then Trustin will be fully modified with all the things we need. So done. Double arms, double legs, an eye, and a healing enhancer. An Imperial ship crash. 10 honor would easily be enough for Bunny to become a countess. So they definitely have my attention. I'm probably going to want to wait as long as I can to accept this quest, so that Trustin isn't sedated, so that if I need to fight with him, I can. And the Eastern Devil Strand 2 field is nearly done. So if I help out you, Imperials, would you please send a tribute? That's on the forefront of my mind. Ooh, a soother for males. That's nice. So Trustin is up, but he's still going to be pretty woozy, which means that he's not that combat effective, and there is a risk that he sort of wanders as a result of his wooziness. So that's a risk as well. One that I might be willing to take, just given that a ship crash usually requires all hands on deck. But we'll see. So for smelt apparel here, this is all tainted apparel, and this is a... Oh, they're both tainted apparel? How are they different? I think they're identical. So I'm going to do another smelt apparel of clean flak. So we'll keep the flak helmets, but the jackets, pants, and vests, not the vest, but the jackets and pants I'm going to smelt. I don't really value them so much as clothing. The problem with the pants, they offer good protection, but they slow you down. And then the jackets offer good protection, but they're not as good as, they're often not as good as their dusters. So this flak jacket has a sharp of 46 versus the duster that I'm wearing has a sharp of 81. So the vests don't cover a piece of clothing that we would otherwise use anyway, except for royals, which have the formal clothing. So the vests are fine. The vests do slow us down a little bit, but we all have bionic legs. But the jackets and the pants, I don't care for. All right, let's accept this. We're going to be accepting this with Bunny the Baroness. And they have... I could not have lucked out anymore because they landed in my monument marker, meaning that it's going to be extraordinarily difficult for... Oh god, this is kind of funny. It's going to be extraordinarily difficult for the raiders to get access to these guys, but then also this monument, I think, crashed, and they destroyed the monument themselves and ruined my relationship with them themselves. So, yeah, I guess they deleted one of the floor tiles on their arrival, and I got blamed. So that's cute. But because it's so close to my base, I also don't have to rally everybody early. I can take my time. Man, I don't think I've ever seen it land in a monument. Especially an active monument. Because then I got blamed. So the people that are attacking for this crash is the Vema Alliance. And the Vema Alliance here is a savage tribe, so it's going to be just tribals. Which isn't so bad. And they should be arriving any minute now. Here they are. 27 of them to the southwest. So, one of the things I want to do is to make sure that I send my shield belt protected slaves, which is all of them, I guess, down to go protect. So we'll line up the slaves as a cannon fodder wall, and then my shooters. And I'm sure to be leaning into side casting for this one, because we are outnumbered pretty considerably. In fact, let's have you back up a little bit too. I don't think I'm going to get in position in time. So the kind of weapons these guys have, there's a lot of brawlers in this group, which is pretty good against Berserk. So I'm going to try to Berserk some of their... Not a single one of them really has armor out except for Hamster. So Hamster would be a good Berserk target. And let's have Zleb hit Marksman Command. And move a little bit. Actually, don't Berserk Fox. Alright, where is Hamster? Here he is. So Hamster is their Berserker Chief. So he is uniquely armored. And then the rest of these guys, I'm just going to berserk people in the group to soak some chaos. Alright, Sven got hit by a short bow, as did Bunny. I obviously don't want them to tank, so my slaves are going to progress forward and soak up those shots that have been coming my way. Their cataphract is helping to defend as well, but he's kind of dangerous to me a little bit. Some of these slaves are arriving a little late. Should have got them moving early, but looks like they're all retreating. So, mission success. I can have trust and do some tending of Bunny and Sven. This stupid cataphract better not shoot me. I'm a little worried about that. And we're done. So all I need is trust to do 10 to Sven. Undraft everybody. Looks like Buddha-Man has an active bleed, but I don't think I really got... Yeah, I really didn't get that much in terms of wounds. Thanks to all the shield belts. And Goro, how are you doing? Goro, you are going to be tended without medicine. I have plans for Goro. So I am going to capture Goro. We'll throw Goro into... up here. It's fine. I'm planning on sacrificing Goro, if you were wondering. So there's the rescue shuttle. And they are off. And now I can become a countess. So sometime tomorrow when we are ready, I will ascend to the highest rank obtainable. I'm just making sure to tend them without medicine, so it's going to go a little faster. And we are done. I'm not sure why Trustin isn't asking to become scarified. He should have a scarification desire. A bug, perhaps? I'm not really sure. If we go to the prisoners here, nutrient paste meal for the new one, and as soon as he gains consciousness, I plan on sacrificing him. Ooh, a little rain. This will go a long way to cleaning up some of the blood and vomit everywhere. And the chocolate trees have finished, so... we have one in the south. And then when that is sown, I'll plant others. An orbital drone hack. Well, that's another fun map tile event that I'll be accepting sometime soon. So let's go ahead and accept the quest for Countess. So everybody's going to sort of wait around where the event takes place so that they can be present. But not dirtying up the room. Everyone's going to be in attendance for the best possible quality expectation. And hopefully she'll learn a powerful psycast. Well, I mean, she'll definitely learn one, but I don't know which one. Okay. I gained some additional honor, 3 additional honor because of the quality of the ceremony. And I also gained Manhunter Pulse. Not useful in the desert, but maybe my next map tile it will be useful. As far as her needs go, they're already fulfilled because I already built the bedroom in time, or ahead of time, and the throne room meets all the requirements because, of course, it already had with Sven. Which means all of these prisoners here are going to be for Trustin's royal rank. Very, very eager for that caravan to finally arrive. So this will be a corpse dump for the human likes that are here, so I can burn them once it's done raining. And we'll pick a permit choice, and I think I'm going to do a transport shuttle for her. No, I'll do another cataphract. I think what I'll do is for Trustin, I'll have the non-combat choices. So it seems to me that I am flat out of plasteel, so I'm going to send Sven over to work on the ground pen scanning. And No Luck just keeps manufacturing wonderful art. So we can pretty up the base, and that also increases the wealth value. So my wealth value is at 232,000 or so, and climbing. And once Trustin gets back on tailoring, when he's finished all this fabrication, there will be an opportunity to build even more wealth. So most of the slaves are now healing up. Goro, are you conscious? Yeah, Goro's conscious. So the thing I'm going to do tomorrow morning with Goro is sacrifice him to maximize the suppression of all my slaves. So I do have some slaves that don't have 100% suppression because the moment they were converted, if I didn't have the correct clothing for them ready, they just wouldn't be suppressed fully and immediately. So I pulled Goro in to help with that. We'll kill Goro in front of all the slaves, and then the slaves will have maximum suppression, reducing their rebellion timers the most I can. Oh, that is a big prison break. It's a big enough prison break that I think I'm going to need everybody dealing with this. Ideally, the slaves will do most of it. And then let's not allow free fire at will. But another way to deal with this is to throw some psycasts in, so I can vertical pulse them once Sven's present. Sven doesn't have enough psi focus to do berserks. And here we go. Okay, I hit a whole bunch of them with the berserks. So now it's just a matter of punching them down. And this is going to be a continual, I'm sure, a continual frustration of having all these prison population that I have to regularly suppress them like this and then patch them back up is gonna be annoying. But that vertical pulse was pretty effective, as they're all vomiting now and not really fighting me. Not all of them are vomiting, but most. All right, I think they're just about done. I'm going to have my colonists leave the area, and the slaves will finish this up. So I only had one slave, or two slaves rather, get knocked unconscious. None of my slaves have permanent injuries. And I'll check them for permanent injuries. I don't see any, not obviously. So now it's just a matter of cleanup. Yet again, another prison break. Day in the life of an architect. Some of my guys are waiting to be tended to. I think what I'm going to do, because most of these are just bruises, is use herbal medicine because I'm running rather low on industrial meds. One of the things I probably need to do is to get some Nuturamine so I can make industrial meds. But I believe we're all patched up now. And all that's left is to rescue those that are knocked out and patch everyone up. So this monument has been defiled as a result of the shuttle landing in it. So I don't really need to keep it. The thing is, I might be asked to make another monument, and if the next monument requires sandstone floors, I don't have to re-put the floors down. So what I'm going to be doing here is destroying the walls and the other structures built into it, but not the floors. I'll leave the floors because you can't get resources back from flagstone anyway. So there's really no advantage to ripping up the floors. All right, Sven, let's have you tend to the slaves, not to be kind, but to get them back to work. I'm a little bummed that I lost 10 rep with the Shattered Empire as a result of them landing squarely in my monument. That's definitely their fault, not mine, and I got blamed for it. But the Archonexus quest doesn't really require me to be allied with them, so it doesn't matter, I suppose, in the end. All right, we are just about ready to be fully recovered from that rebellion. Except for Goro. Oh yeah, Goro, you don't really have a bed. Here, let me fix that. And I hadn't sacrificed Goro yet, so that's the last thing I want to do. As long as Goro is conscious. So tomorrow morning, I'll rally all of my slaves. The fact that Buddha-Man is probably going to be unconscious for it doesn't matter because he's already maxed out. Oh, that would be annoying. Come on out. The door's open. Oh, you idiot. I'm trying to get Lucid to do the tanking. Oh, perfect. Lucid throws a punch. Ooh, and we have dromedaries migrating. That may not be too terrible to hunt. I think at this point, we are making enough vegetables that I can switch this over from meat to veggies, but obviously we're very low on meat, even with the polar bears that came to attack us. So, this hunt here is a bit of a must. And it looks like all slaves are going to be able to be in attendance. So I'm going to have all slaves move towards the ritual room. And once they've gathered there, I'll trigger the ritual. One of the things to note is if your slaves can't get there in time, they don't benefit from it. So it's important to do it like this so that they are definitely in attendance. So now we are going to trigger a execution, and we're going to execute Goro. And because just the way I did with the Royal Ascension, we gathered everybody so that everyone can attend. And one of the benefits here is, and you'll see, all the slaves that are not fully suppressed will become fully suppressed as a result of the ritual. Boom. And because everyone was in attendance, now you can see Slave Rebellion 22 years, or 9.5 years, or 8.5 years, 11 years, almost 10 years, 19 years. It depends on the health and quality, but we have definitely fully suppressed the slaves. And this is where I'm going to leave off. Thank you for tuning in to episode 32 of the Archotechs, Crash Into Me. Was that not the most ridiculous place for them to land? How on earth am I blamed for that? Well, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you'd like to chat with me or any members of my community, Discord's the place to be. Rhadamant.com or the description of this video both have links to Discord. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel. I'll catch you next episode. Farewell, Architects.